Can I tell you the most maddening true crime case possibly of all time? This story takes place in the 80s. It's a man named Stephen and a woman named Elena, and they moved from Chicago to Scottsdale, Arizona. And one day, 911 gets a frantic call from Stephen because his wife is dead. So they show up, and Elena has been stabbed 27 times. And Stephen tells them that there were some burglars that got into the house, and he did his best to fight them off, but he was unsuccessful. And the police see that there are some drawers that were kind of rummaged around in, but it's clear that there was no break-in and there was no burglary. And they do talk to the couple's kids, and their daughter points out that they did see Stephen rummaging through the drawers. So pretty clearly they determined that it was Stephen that murdered his wife Elena. And as soon as they confront him with that, he immediately admits that, yeah, you know what, you're probably right, but I was asleep and I must have killed her while I was sleepwalking. Now he sticks to that story, and this case goes to trial, and this is where the case gets even more maddening, okay? Because their defense is to paint Elena as, and I'm quoting, a Jewish American princess, okay, that was constantly nagging her husband for money. That's all she ever did, was just nag him for money, okay? She did not put out as much as he would expect her to, right? It was only once a week for 2 minutes. You know, poor Stephen, right? Like, how on earth could he live like this? And so they had a forensic psychiatrist, expert witness, who wasn't even board certified, testify on Stephen's behalf to say that, you know, he had battered husband syndrome because of a nagging wife that didn't put out enough. And it drove him to a temporary dissociative psychosis in which he murdered his wife. And ultimately, the jury deliberated for 3 hours, and they found Stephen not guilty by reason of insanity. And not Stephen, but the jury members were interviewed after this trial, and they felt so sorry for Stephen. You know, how could he have lived as long as he even did with Elena? You know, poor guy. Poor guy. And as if that's not all bad enough, because he was found not guilty, he inherited everything from his wife's estate. Everything. So all of his wife's money paid for his attorneys. He got the house. The only consolation in all of this is that he gave up custody of his kids to his wife's parents, which is exactly what should have happened. But it just goes to show that he wanted it